was a senior executive at the company, so he knows how things actually get done there. And so when this person starts bumping into things that, can't figure out how do I do it, nobody's helping me, people are not letting me get anything done, this person can behind the scenes say, okay, that's what this person is objecting to, and this is how you navigate the organization. So you can provide a mentor at the very highest levels that who behind the scenes can be able to translate what's going on in an organization and let them know what they can do. In terms of, as George was talking about the formal plan, I will turn to my scholastic colleagues and say I think that I've seen just really brilliant plans come out of this organization, which is, before they start, they look at the organization and say, who are the key stakeholders that the new change agent needs to meet? And it's not hierarchical, which I think can be a real mistake. Don't just look at, okay, who's the VP across the organization that this person needs to work with. Think about who are the key people that hold the keys of knowledge, right? Who's going to decipher the organization? Who really knows and can teach, okay? Who holds the keys to the relationships that they really need to have? Who can teach them how this place really works? Who tells them how decisions are really made here and what the organization structure really is all about? And is really going to tell them how things actually get done here. Who's going to teach them what the culture of the organization is really like, so that they can understand and learn very rapidly. Because the key is rapid knowledge acquisition, rapid acclimation to the culture, and not making any unnecessary bumps, right? And forming the trust that you need to have in order to make things happen within the organization. So while they will need to make all the pure relationships, they need all the hidden ones. They're really the important things that you have to have in an organization. So while you have your formal plan, keep in mind all the informal people, and that's not the correct term for it, but all the informal relationships that really are the heart of how an organization works. And I think, as I said again, I'm looking at my scholastic colleagues, they're brilliant about doing that, and that's what makes people successful, especially change agents in an organization. You have to, as HR people, make sure you are checking in not only with your change agent executive, but all those other people, right? The ones that are going to tell you, are they really doing okay? Or did my person just mess up royally and I don't know about that, right? Because they're going to, and all those other people, the ones that, are the keepers of the culture of an organization, they're going to tell you, you are not going to believe what that person just said to somebody important. They just told them, oh, you don't know anything about the business. And that's going to derail them immediately. But you've got to do all that informal stuff so that you can bring them back to your office and tell them straight that if they're doing that, they're going to mess up and they'll have, they've got to course correct immediately. You've got to be the person in your organization that's not afraid to say exactly what needs to be said. You cannot be afraid to give direct feedback. I don't care how high a level person that is in your organization, you're going to have to kind of shake them and say, if you say that kind of stuff again, you're going to be out of this place within 2 seconds flat with no chance of getting back in, so don't say that again. maybe you guys are more diplomatic than me, but I want to scare them so that they're not out on the street. You have to really be able to give that kind of direct feedback so that they understand. And then you have to have, methods of checking in. There have to be really concrete goals and measurements. What was the goal in terms of revenue, of customers? What are the metrics? And make sure that they're out there so that, in 3 months you can check in, and see how they are doing. And if they're off track, so that you can check very quickly and get them back on track. So you do have to have a very close relationship with their manager and make sure that you are checking in with the manager as well as checking in, with their constituencies. You've got to have a close relationship with the key stakeholders, the informal people, and their manager, and make sure you're checking in on the goals. Now, if a headhunter helped you bring them in, make sure that the headhunter has an informal lunch with them, and then check in with the headhunter, because the headhunter is going to know more than you will. They're going to go out to lunch with the headhunter, and they're going to go, what in God's name did you do to me? And if that was the lunch, you're in really bad shape because they'll have fixed up their resume and they'll have lunch with their headhunter and they'll say, get me out of here. That's a bad lunch. But if the lunch is, oh, it's okay, I'm finding my way, then that's okay. If things are not going well and you've been in there coaching your executive and coaching the stakeholders and things are not going well, then you need to get an executive coach to help you because you've been the coach and you've had a mentor who's high-level past board member, senior retired executive. That means you need an executive coach to get in there and help you. Otherwise, you're off course. And you need somebody external to the organization to give you a hand. But what you don't want is to have successive change agents coming in because that means your organization is flailing. And that means your change initiative is not going to happen, which means you will have a body of employees who will resist change because they know they can,